Hi, Tony Sycamore here, Senior Market Analyst at IG in Australia. US stock markets began November strongly, driven by Amazon and Intel's robust earnings despite a mixed jobs report on Friday night. October's non-farm payrolls fell short of expectations, adding just 12,000 jobs, with hurricanes and strikes contributing to the weakness. Providing some offset, the household survey, which was presumably less hurricane affected, showed a steady unemployment rate of 4.1%. Ahead of the US election, prediction markets narrowly favor a Trump victory, though a Republican sweep odds have decreased from around 48% this time last week to about 36%. Media outlets like the Associated Press will announce state-by-state results, with the timing of the winner's announcement dependent on the speed of counting the votes. The action is expected to heat up on Wednesday mid-morning Sydney time. Let's take a look at the charts of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq to see where they are as they start the new week. At the start of last week, we saw the Nasdaq 100 make a push up towards this 20,690 high. It wasn't able to break above there, and it was swiftly followed by a decline through this uptrend support from the August low, which came in around or a bit above 20,100. It also coincided with this layer of support. We've been talking around 20,000. Now, as you can see, Friday, it tried to bounce, but that uptrend support provided a bit of resistance. And in terms of where we go from here, well, it's going to be a volatile week. But if I were to see a break of this 19,600 to 19,500 support area, I think we'd start to have to think we've got a bit of a double high in place here, and we can start to head down towards some of these downside targets, starting with the 200-day moving average coming in around 18,833. And then below there, we have some important uptrend support coming in around 18,350. And of course, this low from September. Conversely, if we are able, or if the Nasdaq were able to hold above this 19,600 to 19,500 area, you would have to give the upside the benefit of the doubt and allow for another test of this high before a potential push up towards 21,500. So everything for me in this Nasdaq space is really dependent on this ability to either hold or break this support coming in around 19,600 to 19,500. Turning to the S&P 500, well, what we did see here was a similar break of short-term uptrend support coming from this August low into the end of last week. Nonetheless, it's still above this important layer of horizontal support we've spoken about many times in recent weeks, coming in around 5670 to 5650. If the S&P were to see a sustained break below here, well, then I think we can push on lower down towards this September low, 5400-ish, and then we have this 200-day moving average sitting around 5359. As we just mentioned with the Nasdaq, while it is able to hold above this important support area, you would have to allow it the opportunity to retest this 5878 record high, with scope up towards 6,000. So again, watching some really important downside support here for a guide as to what comes next. Thank you for listening and have a good week ahead.